Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm excited to talk about today's topic. It's going to be all about the physical body. This is an area that I thought for many years was actually harder to heal, but that is not true. I'll explain why I thought it was harder to heal in a little bit. But we're going to talk all about what it takes to heal your body from illnesses to a pimple to weight, anything to do with your physical body or things that you're experiencing within it. It can be a scary area because it's your body. And I promise you, your body has your back at all times. And we're going to dive into it all today. If you know me, we talk about how everything is an inside out world, that everything we are experiencing from situations, circumstances, and people, that it is all a mirror of what's going on inside, meaning whatever we are doing to ourselves, whatever we are thinking about ourselves and treating ourselves in a way will go on our electromagnetic field. This field creates every situation and circumstance that we experience. Our physical body is absolutely no different. If you listen to the 8 areas of our life episode, one of the areas is physical. Everything that we experience in our physical body is a creation of our EMF field, our electromagnetic field, which means every symptom that you are experiencing has an emotional root cause. If you heal the emotional root cause, the body can heal itself. Because I want to make something very clear. Our bodies are amazing. They are built so perfectly, just as perfect as this world and this system is built. It is its own little universe, and it is constantly in a state of perfection, meaning it is just playing out whatever we are feeling, down to how our hair lies. If we don't like that our hair is straight and it should be curly, that is tied to feeling like our soul pole isn't exciting. I mean it when I say everything that we feel and think about our physical body has an emotional root to it, meaning if we heal the emotional root, the physical body can heal. It is just in communication and playing out what we are feeling and thinking. And so for many years, I was like, this is so much harder to heal. It's not. It was me being very brainwashed by the amount of modalities out there and information on how to heal your body and heal your weight and your pimples and all the products and all the things that we are just consumed with to heal the physical body. It is scary and overwhelming. And we never can find the real best 10 out of 10 solve without healing the emotional root. And we'll get a little bit more into that in a second. But going back to my point of it's overwhelming. You have all of these options and all of these modalities and all of this information coming at you. And if you've watched the episode that I talk about, the 8 areas of life, you'll hear me talk about how when you have a problem in one of the areas of your life, let's say in physical, the problem that you're having is not in physical. It could be in mental. It could be in career. It could be in relationships. It's never in the area that you're having the problem in. So a lot within the physical world and how to heal your body, they give you the solve within the physical world. Take this medicine, change this part in your diet, change this exercise. And it's more frustrating than anything because you're sitting here going, I've tried everything and now I have to be even more miserable. I can't eat this. I have to work out this much. I have to do all these things. And it may move the needle 12%, right? So again, as you can see, the world has it backwards. They're trying to fix the physical body in the physical area. And again, it's never in the area that the problem is in. So if we're having a problem in a relationship, it could be that you're imbalanced in career or career's off and financial is the problem. It's never in the same area. And this is why so many people get really frustrated when they're trying to solve their life. They are trying to solve the problem in the area. And physical is one of the areas that I think has some of the most amount of quote unquote solves in the area. So nothing is actually being solved. If anything, it's making it worse, because when we put a Band-Aid on something, let's say you're told to take a medicine and it kind of helps, the energy has to get louder. So either your body actually gets worse or another area of your life starts going crazy. So these Band-Aids that the medical world or the physical, area of life and the solves out there are more of a Band-Aid, not a solve to what's actually going on. So it's actually not harder to solve and heal your physical body. It's just an area that has a lot of information that is more of a Band-Aid versus an actual fix versus an actual solve. Again, even if we go to cancer, chemo is such a crazy experience for a human to have to go through, when we could just solve the emotional root and then watch the body heal. And going back to my point of why it's so important to solve the core emotional root so you get the best solve. This is something that has changed my life and why I will never, ever, ever leave a situation unhappy. Because if I leave it unhappy, I know I'm not going to get the 10 out of 10 solve. So if I leave a relationship when I'm unhappy, then that energy just follows me. It doesn't mean I all of a sudden get a better relationship. This is a false reality. Leave this person and you will get a better relationship. You won't. And trust me, I tried it back in the day. It doesn't work. You get the same repetitive patterns. But if you can get to a place of happiness in the relationship, then you actually can get your best outcome. The best case scenario can always happen if you heal the root cause of something. So whether it is a relationship or a career, don't leave your job because you hate it. It's only going to follow you and you won't get your best job. That is the biggest thing, is you cannot get it. You actually don't have access to it if you don't solve the problems that are currently going on. So with your physical body, an area where it can be even more scary because you're going through something, if it is weight or if it is an illness or symptom that you just don't understand, you can't find your best solve, the best medicine, the best action to take, any of that. If you need that, you will not be able to get your 10 out of 10 best case scenario outcome if the emotional root is not healed. And that's why, for me, I'm at a place where I know I deserve the best out of the best. So I want the best outcome in any case, in any scenario of my life. So for me, it's not a question that I try to look for a solve before I heal the root issue. I don't even go there until I go, I need to solve this. And then the best case will come in. And a good sign from the universe is when you actually get the best case solve, the thing that actually solves it, it means you did heal something inside. It's kind of like oh yes. I remember when I was healing something to do with my body a few years ago, and it was just like trying to find all the pieces, and then instantly in came someone telling me, oh, this physical thing is so good for, I'll give this example, teeth, right? It was like the best toothpaste possible. And it meant that I actually found the root cause to cavities and breaking, it's tied to breaking down ideas, healing that emotional root cause. And so I got the best toothpaste that ever existed. So you will get the best thing in the world if you heal the root. And if there's anything to take away from today, it's that. Don't settle for a 7 out of 10 outcome when you can get your best case scenario. But the only way to do it is solving the emotional root to it. So to give you kind of a physical example, let's say you are solving weight. I was about to say a very simple thing. Weight is not a simple thing. So many people struggle in this area when it is quite a simple solve and fix to it all. Hormonal weight is going to be a different root cause, and then there's just weight. So just know that those two are going to have two different emotional root causes. But we see out in the world, there's all of these different exercises, different diets. I mean, there's a fad coming out all the time about what we should do to be in our best body. Our higher self does have the most ideal, perfect weight of how we would function the best. If there is a reason why you are out of balance with that, do not worry. That was all part of the plan. But just know there's an emotional root cause that's going on. And this is one of the, I think, the most beautiful expressions of the body telling you it's got your back is the emotional root to having weight is tied to beating yourself up. That the body actually creates a cushion on the body to say you are attacking yourself, and that energy actually can do damage. This is why we never want to broadcast bad energy out to people, because it actually does affect. So if we are attacking ourselves, beating ourselves up to the point where it's really, really high, our organs, which are the things that we need to function and live and breathe, is under attack. So the body now puts up a cushion to protect the organs inside. And that is what fat is. If you heal the emotional root to that, which means you have to find the right area you're doing this in and heal that, the body will then go, cool, we can release this because that is no longer going on. Then, and this is the cool, fun part of it, once you actually heal the emotional root, instead of working out 50,000 times a day or week, I remember, oh my God, in my teens, I remember a friend of mine, her and I, we were like, yes, we're going to work out twice today. Like, talk about being completely imbalanced. That should never be the case. When we are living a balanced life, it's never some crazy amount that we have to put in to be in our perfect state. And so once you heal the emotional root cause, you can actually look in intuitively, and this is what I do with clients, and figure out what is the amount of time someone needs to work out a week, for how long, what type of workout is best for their body, what type of food do they want, how often do they want to eat a day. For me, actually, it was 4 times a day, smaller meals, which totally actually fits. When I was a kid, my mom used to call me like this rabbit because I would just like nibble versus having full meals. And so you can actually find your perfect recipe for your body and working out and food. And when you do find it, you'll realize, well, this actually isn't that bad and I enjoy it and I crave it. I don't go, oh, I have to do this. It is your perfect recipe, which is your best case scenario for the actual physical solve to the emotional root. So we're tackling spiritual, energetic to physical and putting them together. But if we want the best physical solve, the 10 out of 10 thing, we have to heal the emotional root. We can't get this information without healing the emotional root, which is why I have always tackled that first, knowing, again, this is an inside out world. Tackle the emotional root, then I will align myself to the best case scenario, the best solution, which means you always win. You always come up on top, not in a competition way, in your what you deserve way. For me, it's like, yes, I want the best out of the best for myself. So I am going to heal the emotional root to then get the physical solve. So just know whatever you are going through in your physical body has an emotional root. And depending on where it is on your body, depending on what you're experiencing, it's going to have a different emotional root. Once you heal that, then you will get your solve. The doctor who will be able to help you will step in, or the certain type of herbs will be told to you by somebody. It will just show up if you need a physical solve to something within your physical body. But the fact that the best advice we hear is stop eating red meat, when, to be fair, I can't tell you how many times I've looked into a soul and read that red meat, their body benefits from, their brain benefits from. So it's to categorize everyone's body and say this is the one solve, that is also going to just give very, very, very low success rate. And we have to be able to adjust our tools and our knowledge to a person. And when it comes to the physical body, the only thing that I would say would be complicated with the physical body is if there is an illness going on, or if there's even pain in the body. Let's say you have pain in the neck or you have pain in the side. You have to actually find where the start of it is, right? So with a migraine, it can either actually start in your neck or your upper like traps. And if you don't know where it's starting from, it's going to be a different emotional route to your migraine. So that is the only complicated part of the physical, is knowing that there is actual start of a symptom you're feeling. And that's why, again, if you go to a doctor and you tell them the symptom and they're just kind of guessing based off of the symptoms, that might not even be the problem area. It might be even deeper. So we're putting a Band-Aid on top of a Band-Aid on top of a Band-Aid versus being able to actually look in, and you can strengthen your intuition. You all, if you're listening to this, you can get scientifically accurate information on scanning a body, reading organs, knowing what's going on with the body, and finding out where it started from. If you have symptoms that you have no idea why, that also could just be tied to, it will be tied to one emotional root. But if you have multiple symptoms, you have to play out this story and find the emotional root to it. So that is the only reason why I would say physicals can be complicated. You can have a symptom, but need to go deeper into where did it start from. But again, you can get scientifically intuitive accuracy of reading where it came from versus just kind of throwing a dart and going, yeah, you have a symptom that 5,000 million other people had, but you also have these symptoms and we don't really know. Let's try this. Again, giving you some sort of fix in the physical area, which that's not the problem area. We don't need to change the physical. We need to change the emotional, maybe in financial, the emotional in mental, the emotional in relationships. And that's what heals it. You know, a lot of illnesses stem from things that big illnesses, things that you experience maybe in family at a young age, or as you got older, it started just a belief that you started to take on and really believed. And now you have an illness in your 50s, 60s. So it is always going to come down to that emotional root cause. And I want you to take away from today, not only can you heal your body and heal it much more effectively going this route, but in this area and in all areas, there's always going to be a 10 out of 10 solve, your best case scenario. And the only way to access your best case scenario is by healing the emotional root to anything. And that is something you can do for yourself as an act of love. Again, I do it because I know I deserve the best out of the best. So I'm in a place where I know I can get best case scenario, so I'm not going to settle. I'm going to heal. Even if it takes me 9 months, a year, I will keep at it until I heal whatever it is, and I will not jump to fixing it physically. I remember a great time. God, I remember this. It was awful. For the first time ever, and this was only, I think, 3 years ago, I had acne like I've never experienced, like somebody would experience in their teenage years. And it was a hormonal thing. And I was like, oh, wow, this is what it feels like. Thank God I was in a place of loving who I am, no matter what I look like. So I was able to handle it quite well. But I was like, wow, this is intense. Like this is something is going on. And how much my old self back in the human world would have gone and tried every physical fix to fix it, right? From facials every week to pimple patches to different types of cleansers to, I mean, I would probably have Googled anything to find a solve and probably would have tried 80,000 things and nothing would have made it better. And again, if we try it, it usually gets worse. Why? Because the energy is trying to get your attention that this is not the solve. So the difference is I knew that I needed to solve it internally. So instead of me just jumping to a physical solve, and this is very hard, this is something to reprogram in your system because you're going to want to. You're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to go, no, but this is going to solve it. It's not. And I got to a place of really understanding that Do not take a physical action until I understand what's going on internally. If I understand what's going on internally and I start to heal it, then the best physical action will come into play. And to be fair, at that time, it actually just disappeared. I didn't have to do anything. So that also can happen. So then I save time, money, energy, a lot of money. Just know that this is a form of loving yourself, of saying, I want you to have the best outcome. I don't want you to have a crappy fix. I also don't want you to experience this energy getting louder. So I'm going to try everything in my power, work with people, learn more information. That is why I'm doing these podcasts, to give you more knowledge, because knowledge is literally the key to anything and everything. And the more knowledge we all have, which we all need it now to help where the planet's at, more knowledge, real knowledge, source knowledge is going to give you your best case scenario, and you deserve your best case scenario, and you can have it. And this is how you change your entire world to come alive and be this world of just wins and fulfillment, is because you're getting your best case scenario every time. And so when I was going through this, I knew, Val, we're just gonna have to live like this. And I did. I think it went on for like 6 months, because hormones that was the time I was learning a lot of all the pieces of how to heal hormonal pieces. And that took me a second. And I sat in that and let it just, be the way it was, until I said, I will heal this, and then the best case will come in. And it did. It came in and just went away overnight, just started to disappear. So just know that physical is no different than any other area. You can heal it. It's always, no matter what, a emotional root to your physical situation that is going on, from a pimple to an illness to pain in your body to weight to any of it. Your body is there to tell you a story. It's got your back. It is saying, I'm going to hold until you get this. And the minute you get this, I will release and go back to that neutral place. Again, our body's built perfectly. It is in perfection at all times. The minute you heal something, it will just go right back to that balanced place, functioning at a normal place. Your body's not breaking down, and age has absolutely nothing to do with it. I promise you that. That's another thing I'll throw at you, is that age really, just aches and all of that is reflections compounding on each other. So age has nothing to do with your body deteriorating. If anything, what's happening is the messages are not getting healed. So things are getting louder, things are compounding on each other. So trust me, you can get your body into a state of neutral balance, complete and 100% alignment, if you heal the emotional root to it. And always remember, it's never in the physical area. It's in a different area of your life. Thanks so much for joining. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, comment, or share with somebody that you know. I would like to reach and help as many people as possible, and I cannot do that without you. So I appreciate the support.